it's me again. I am back, started the day, and I'm still here, clinging on for dear life, but I can't wait for this one. I've been really excited. I love doing these kind of shows where we're on our own, a little bit more intimate, a little bit more me and you, just on our own. I say just on our own, telling fibs really, I'm not really on my own. Well, actually, I'm on my own here, which is unusual, but I do have a little voice in my ear, and it's our gorgeous Jamie, who will be zooming in all those close-up shots for you. And there is Jake somewhere hovering around, who's very busy though, because we've got a lot lined up tomorrow as well. Craig and Keith, they've gone. Are you nice for you're in for a nice, relaxing hour now, can I just say? I mean, I was outside prepping and doing extra little bits, and I heard all the chaos and the mayhem, but I'm so glad you enjoyed those shows. But yeah, a little bit more relaxing now. You can go and grab yourself a cuppa or a drink and come and sit down. Come and join me, because it's just me and you. And it's all going to be about the vellum and acetate. Now, I did put a post out a couple of days ago asking for a little bit of your help about what you wanted to see on these Craft Your Stash shows. And that's what you said. Majority were all about that. I have taken note, though, of all the other things that other people asked for future Craft Your Stash shows. So I'll definitely will be bearing those in mind when I plan the next one. But it's all your burning questions about how to use vellums, how to stick down vellums, types of acetate, how to use construction acetate. We're going to cover all of that for you. I have got our social media superstar Rachel in charge of all the comments on YouTube and on Facebook as well. So anything you want to ask, please fire them away, and Rachel's definitely going to be keeping me company and letting me know who's watching, and I will do a few shout outs because I can see quite a few little wavy hands already and comments flying through. So I'm hoping you're going to enjoy this show. But yeah, there's no such thing as a daft question. That's the thing about here. Live, interactive. There's no such thing as a daft question. And do you know, if I don't know it, I'll tell you I don't know it. I don't know the answer to it. I mean, they call me a craft expert, but I'm just like you. I'm just a crafter. I love crafting, and I will do my very best to pass on any knowledge that I do have and pass that on with you and give you my advice and my little top tips and things like that as well. But yeah, if I don't know it, I'm just going to be totally honest and tell you I don't know the answer to that question. But we will always ultimately find out for you. So if you have got a question you want to ask, then please do ask, and our lovely Rachel, hi Rachel, will definitely pass those through as well. So we have got a few hellos already, so I'm going to give a big shout out to, of course, Rachel. Carol says good evening. Debbie Wilson says hello everyone here from New Jersey. We've got Faye Smith says hello from Bristol, Virginia. I thought you was going to say Bristol, which is my second home here down south, but no, Virginia is stateside, if I remember rightly. We've got Jen Shank, who says hello and good afternoon everyone. Trudy Bickham says hello again everyone. I'm really looking forward to the show. Louise Burton says hello everyone. And of course, yes, Rachel, the one that's live in the phone as well. Jamie, by the way, is saying hello. I heard Jamie shouting hello to everybody, so you know our Jamie's on the ball there. I do think Johnny's still hanging around. Is he just saying bye-bye? Bye, Johnny. See you, not tomorrow, but see you soon, because he's off tomorrow, bless him. He's got a day off tomorrow. Julie Palmer says, good evening from a showery Ipswich. It's not been so good here either. Although, saying that right now, Jamie, did you see it outside? It's boiling hot. It's absolutely red hot. The sun's out and everything. So, yeah. So it looks like it's picking up. Rosalind Russell says, good afternoon from Maryland, everyone. Sister P4 says, hello, Debbie. You're never alone with all these crafty friends. Thank you, Sister P4. I am, honestly, I'm glad of your company, let me just tell you, because I think me and Jamie would be a little bit like, what shall we do if we're on his own? I mean, really? Thank you for joining us. I do appreciate it. Monica, now I think it's Majaya. I'm hoping that's right, or Maya, because it could be a silent J, says, good morning from Southern California. Charlene Matthews on Facebook, already with a question, and she says she struggles with stamping sentiments on vellum. Charlene, have you read my mind? It's on my list. I have a list of what we're going to cover in this hour, so stay tuned, Charlene, because we're definitely going to be covering that one. Caroline Wilson on YouTube, hi Debbie, great advice, no such thing as a silly question. There isn't. Do you know, I always remember going back to when I first started out crafting, and I asked what I thought was the most silliest questions, and it turns out they weren't silly questions. It's just that if you don't know, how do we find out unless we ask? That's the motto of this show. Right, beautifully sunny here, says our Rachel. Teddy's just gone to the park with his dad and let his little football. I love that. I hope he has a lovely time because it is beautiful outside as well. Right, let's get started with this show. And I'm going to talk things. I'm going to break it down a little bit. I'm not going to go... break it down, break it down, break it down. I'm not going to just literally muddle the two together. I'm going to stick to acetate first, then we'll move on to vellum, and then that enables you to get those questions in that you want to ask. But I definitely will be covering, Charlene, the stamping onto vellum. But I'm going to start with acetate. I'm going to bring in the kind of different acetates that we do here at Crafters, and the kind of things that you may already have in your crafty stash. So I've just... been raiding Jake's things. I've been in his drawers again. I've been at it again, ruffling around there, trying to find out all these different things that we've got. And I'm going to talk things like, now this is one of our smaller acetates that we do, but this is what we call an heavyweight acetate. So it means, and the thing with difference between our papers to our acetates is that paper is a GSM made up, and an acetate is made up of microns, and because it's a different kind of surface, but there's lots of great different acetates out there that do lots of different jobs, from patterned to plain to heat resistant, and I'll talk about all of those. But this one here is what we call an heavyweight acetate because it's a 250 micron. We do actually go a little bit further with what we call construction, but I would consider an heavyweight one to be a construction acetate, which means anything construction or heavyweight means that you can use it to die cut. Ooh, Jamie, I need to put that down on my list. Die cut. I knew there was a question that I saw the other day. Die cut with your acetate, and I will talk about that. And if our Jake is hanging around, if he could find me the tag dies that we launched yesterday. Wait a minute. Could be the day before, actually. It was the day before. So, Jake, if you're around, could I have the mixed media tags? Because I'm going to show you how to die cut with your tags. With your acetate as well, and give you a little few tips on that. Now, moving on to a different kind of acetate. This is what we call our heat resistant acetate. Now, this one... and I will explain, most of our acetates that come to you, that get delivered to you, have all got like a cover, a protective film on. Heat resistant doesn't. Now, this is because this one is where if you want to stamp onto acetate with either an opaque pigment ink pad or a sticky, or in our case, a watermark ink pad, you can apply heat to this without it warping or crinkling. So this one is a slightly different one, and it is still a great quality grade, but it's not a heavyweight one, so it's not got as many microns to it, which means it's perfect for all your heat resistant, and we will cover that as well too. Different kinds of sizes of acetate. This one's an acetate, perfect for things like foil press, because this is when we brought this out with the foil press, which does mean it's got heat resistant to it as well, but it also means we've got different types of acetate. And then I moved on to these two because we do bring out 8x8 packs, and we do bring out larger ones in 12x12, but this is real construction heavyweight acetate because this is 380 micron, and that means it's not only is it foiled, but it's great for construction. And if I just get that one out, and I'll bring the 12x12 out. If I bring out one of those, let's go in with this. It's beautiful because it's foiled as well. Thank you, Jake. He's a good one, he is. He's a good egg. Thank you very much. So we'll do a little bit of die cutting with acetate as well. But this is foiled. Now this, and if I was to get a sheet of, in fact, we'll do it. We'll get it out. We'll get a sheet of heat resistant out so you can almost hear the difference with your microns there. So I'm just going to get out a sheet of the heat resistant. Let's get a sheet of the heavyweight. Actually, you can see the protective film on this one. It's a bit cloudy, whereas this one is crystal clear. Now, I know it's always difficult on camera, but can you hear the difference? This is heat resistant. This is heavyweight. This is construction. It's like a bit of music there. Bit like the bells, do you know the bells with the small to the large? That's what that's like. That's the difference between the microns, and you can hear it. You can also see it, you can also feel it. So we will talk about all of those as well. Now, I'm going to just make sure I put these on the right pack, because do you know the one thing about acetate? It's see-through. They look alike, despite the fact that they've got different microns, and they're almost invisible. And especially, how many times have you seen any of us, not just me, but Debs, Craig, how many times have you put it down? Where's it gone? Where is it? It's like, oh yes, there it is. It's invisible. So I'm just going to make sure I've got everything where I need it to be. But yeah, that's the different kind of acetates that we do, the different weights, the different, which is the microns in there, and the different styles that we do, from plain to heat resistant to foiled or patterned acetates. Because this morning, and I pinched it because it was in the 60-minute deals, but where you have like a different patterned acetate, and which is not as heavyweight as the construction one, but it's still quite sturdy. That was from the Touch of Sparkle box? I think it was Touch of Sparkle box, wasn't it? Yeah. So, shall we do a little spot of how to use it? Because one thing I do love making is gift bags. And I did a gift bag the other day with a 12 by 12 paper, but people have asked about construction. Now, you can do things like with a heavyweight one. Let me just grab my scoreboard. I've got it down there. I'll do that in a second. You could use like an heavyweight acetate, clear acetate, as an alternative to a card blank. But you do need a construction one. You wouldn't be able to do it with your heat resistant, and I would be totally honest with you, you wouldn't use your heat resistant for a card base because it's too flippy floppy, is that a right word? It is now. It's too flimsy. Flimsy, that's a good word there. That's the word that I'm looking for. Now, this is 11, so if I scored this in at 5.5, you can still do with acetate what you do with card bases, but what you're creating is a card base alternative, which you then could decorate, because that will make a great construction card base. So basically, and I know it's Jamie went, Debbie, I can't see it. It's always difficult, Jamie, I'm telling you, it's always difficult. But can you see, it could be an alternative to a card base of like maybe a 5 by 7, but you could use that creating. Now, I do have a fan on, so I'm just going to put it out there. I do have a fan on, but this could be an alternative that you could use, and then you could put things like vellum in the background, or you could decorate the front. You often hear us using acetate. You know, I call it a floater card, and by that I mean where you have like a window. Brilliant for a box. I've got a cupcake box that I've made, and I will be doing a tutorial for it, and the cupcake box has got like a see-through lid. This is a great alternative for doing that, so you can use that, and you can use patterned ones as well, but I often use it. Shaker cards, we've used acetate before in the past for shaker cards to trap your shake, and again, that's what you could be doing with it. However, what I want to show you is my little gift bag, but this is heavyweight. This is super, super heavyweight, real construction. This would make a fabulous card base because when you score something like this, in fact, you know what? I've got a couple of sheets, so let's do it. Let's go in and do it. Now, I will just tell you that this tower, I will not be making like a finished, you know, a full finished card or anything like that. Just because I want to go through everything that you can do with them, do with your acetates and your vellums, and of course answer all the questions. So let's come in. Let me cut this down. Now, you've got a choice here. You could, of course, take off the protective film strip straight away and then cut it, which that's absolutely fine to do so. On a foiled acetate, your carrier sheet will always be on the back. Always on the back. So you pull that back, and you see now it's turned from like a cloudy to a crystal clear. I know Sarah is a great believer in doing that after she's cut it down to size, only because acetate is notorious for picking up, it picks up like fingerprints, so you can see things, and especially with glue and things like that, you see it more. Right, now this is 12 by 12. What shall we do? Shall we cut that down to, we'll do that 5 by 7, so let's cut that down. And you can feel on a heavyweight acetate the difference between the feel of it. You can feel the difference when you're cutting it. So you do have to give it a nice, good, clean slice there. Now, again, I'm just going to put that to one side because we are going to make a gift bag as well. But yeah, when you are using an heavyweight one, I prefer, especially when I'm doing card blank, I prefer the heavier, the heavier the construction, heavier the micron, that's the word I'm looking for, the better the card base is. You do, however, I've talked about this before in the past, where I say that you have to go in gentle with paper. You can be a bit more heavy-handed with an acetate, and you do need to go through that a few times. So again, just make sure, if I just then force that into its place, and then score it. So use, wait a minute, score inside, Debbie, score inside. Again, you've got a really strong card base again. Jamie, it's better, we can see it now. Because I've got some writing on there. But what a great alternative for that card base that you can have. Now, I did say I was going to make a, I've got realised that fan's up there, so I'll just prop that up. I'll prop that up. Right, let me go in and make as a gift bag. Now, I'm going to take it off again beforehand. I am a believer in that myself, just that's my chosen method. We're all different. We're all experts with different opinions. But can you see the difference again? Look at that. Look at the difference straight away. So please remember that all of our acetate sheets have a carrier protective sheet on there, okay? Right, so let's make our tall bag. And I did this on a 12 by 12 paper pad the other day. I'm going to do it with the acetate. I'm going to score, first of all, at 10 inches going down. Make sure you do exactly the same. But this is a great weight construction. And I will tell you, I've got the wrong tool here. I need the thinner one to go into my acetate. And that's why I was saying to Jamie at the beginning, Jamie, I've got the wrong tool, and guess who's put a bag away? Seriously. But I'll persevere, it should be all right. It's just that a bigger ball tool can jump out of the track on acetate because it's a more glossy finish, probably a good way to describe it. You would think so, Jamie, wouldn't you? You would think so. And I was looking to see, do you know, normally we have it on the top. Can't find it on the top. Let me just have a quick peek. Let's see, because I sorted this out the other day. Do you know what I could use? The guillotine one. Yeah, we'll go in with the guillotine one. That's better. Whose favourite's going to? Lily's. I didn't realise that. Yeah, so absolutely perfect for that. And then again, you can score. I'm gonna burnish in a second, but I'm just gonna force it into its place. Then turn that around, and we're going to do exactly the same as what I did the other day. That we're going to pop the score lines in, and this time we're scoring at 4 inches. And again, just try and make sure it doesn't jump out. Acetate is notorious for being super, super glossy because it's like almost like glass effect. It's like a glassy, glossy effect. Is that the right word I'm looking for, Jamie? It's been a long day. I know, I'm all right asking Jamie. He's saying, it's been a long day for me too, Debbie. But it'll be absolutely fine. So we're going in at 4 inches, and then we're going to come in at 5 3/4. If you've been asking questions, I will go back to those in a second. I promise I will. I promise I will go there. So I'm going to come in at 5 3/4, and I'm going to try my very hardest to do a nice clean, straight up and down. And do that again. And then we're going to come in at 9 3/4. Yep, 9 3/4, so straight down again, into that groove. Almost want to burst into song. Get into the groove. Who sang that now? Oh, Madonna. Sorry, Jamie, he went, you're asking the wrong person, Debbie. No, you're not a child, Jamie. Right, 11 and a half is the last one. And this will make a great gift bag. And you know, we're talking about having a Father's Day bottle bag. this will make a great alternative one as well, because I've gone with a little, even though it's from the autumn range, it's absolutely fabulous weight, construction weight, sturdy, solid, and will hold. Now, my dad likes a favourite tipple. He's a gin drinker. And it's a running, I say a running joke, but every time it's Father's Day, I always buy something else, but the bottle of gin's always there. You need a good bag. You need a good bag. Do you know if you've got something like this? Absolutely fabulous for it. And yeah, Father's Day is fast approaching, isn't it? Is it in June, Jamie? I think it might be June, you know. Yeah, thank you. Now you can you see the difference between something that's, it like almost physically takes its shape instantly. I've just got one more score line to go in there. When was it, Jamie? Sunday the 15th of June, the day before my daughter's birthday. I know it's always usually around her birthday, but look at that. That's the sign of a really good construction weight. Now I'm going to grab my scissors. I'm going to grab our tape pen. And we'll stick this together, and we'll then have a later look at some of the comments that are coming in. Look at that, you can see it's like with paper you wouldn't get this, but with your acetate, especially something of this kind of quality, you absolutely do. It almost physically pushes itself into where you want it to go once you put those score lines in. So again, I'm just going to come in and pop that, just very similar to how I did it the other day, but it was with paper, where I'm just putting those little notches in, and that's just to remove. And then I'll come in and do the same here, and go in a bit further actually, that one. And then lastly, just onto there. Now, I will not lie, with heavyweight acetate, I would normally use red liner tape, but I'm conscious we're already 20 minutes in. I've covered just one thing at the minute, and I've got so much more I want to do. So I am going to use our super strong double-sided adhesive, but it is super strong, Jamie, and it is good enough. But if I was holding a bottle of gin, I would definitely be using red liner tape. So let's just go in. I'm going to put all the glue where I need it to be. I'm then going to fold that down and literally force that into its place. At top to bottom, and then I'm happy with that stick, so I'm going to make sure that's stuck. Pop that back in, and then we have got a fabulous, make sure I've got my glue on the right side, there we go. I'm just going to push that in, and then I'll trim that second, just for a second, there we go. And you've got yourself a fabulous gift bottle bag. And again, I'm just trying not to cut the bottom, Debbie. Don't cut the bottom off, otherwise everything will fall out. Woo, nearly. And you can see now, when I say super, super strong, it is rigid. It ain't going nowhere. And I would be punching my hole in. I would be threading that through. I'd be decorating it on the front. But you have a super strong bottle bag or gift bag. If you are going to use it for, I mean, that's lovely. As a card base, that is beautiful. Just to add maybe Moni and nesting dies in the centre, and then even the words, just honestly, these are just different ways that you can use your acetate. Now, I am going to cover heat embossing because Charlene asked about it, and I know she asked about it on vellum, but you can do it on acetate as well. So stay there. I've got the fan on. You'll have to excuse me. Everything's going to blow down, so I'm just going to make... Actually, we don't want to repeat of this morning. We don't want to repeat of this morning where people were messaging in, tell Debbie that Gemini is hanging off the edge. Right, I'm just going to catch up with a few comments before I move on to heat embossing, because I'm conscious I've had tons of questions come through. So let me go back up to there. Let's have a little look. Emma Bailey on Facebook. Hi, Debbie. Please, can you say hi to Abby? We met you at the NEC. Hi, Abby. Oh, do you know, I met so many lovely people at the NEC. It's lovely to see you. Are you watching? Do you watch us every day, Abby? It's lovely to have you with me this because I'm honestly on my own. You think it's easy? It's not always easy when you're on your own. Normally I've got either Ben or Craig or Debbie to bounce back or Lily to bounce back with. It's a little bit different when you're on your own. But yeah, I'm glad you're watching, Abby. I hope you're keeping well. And make sure you tag me in any of your posts if you're making anything. Because I love to see what people are making. I've been over on our Crafters Companion and I've seen a fabulous craft along project that I did quite a long time ago. And someone found the video and literally, it's just lovely to see you make, so tag us in your makes. And if you have done anything recent, Abby, make sure you do pop it on there so we can have a little look. Kendall says she's getting her tags tomorrow. What did you say, Jamie? Yes. Great shout out, Jamie. Send them in. Friday Night Faves on Friday Night Live. You could win some bonus points to go on your account. Yes, like that, Jamie. And we always love to have a nosy as well. It's one of my favourite parts of Friday Night Live. Louise Burton on Facebook. Which acetate would you use for shaker cards? Any, apart from heat resistant. So in all honesty, heat resistant is exactly what it says on the tin. I never really use that. I do when I'm desperate and we haven't got any. I'm not going to lie. But any acetate, whether it be patterned, whether it be a heavyweight, whether it be a clear one, any acetate of that apart from heat resistant. So Louise, definitely use any of it apart from the heat resistant one. Unless you like us and you get desperate sometimes when there's none lying around in a studio full of craft. Just thought I'd say that. Brilliant to hear the difference of microns. Yeah, Caroline, you can hear it. And if you are ever unsure what your microns are, give it a flick. A shake. Give it a shake, a wobble, a shake, yeah, absolutely. Get myself into trouble, Jamie. Alison Mason on Facebook says, which is best for using on cards, say if you're using a delicate edgeable die to reinforce? Again, heavyweight. So the heavyweight alternative that we do is an A5 one. This acetate that we brought out for foil press, which this one is 8.5 inches by 11, that's a good quality one as well. So that you could use that as a strengthening one, which is what I did at the first with that one. So that one would take care of that as well, Alison. But anything heavyweight, and I always go, have we got the tag in there? I think the tag, have I chucked the tag away, Jamie? I've only had it 2 minutes. This one, which is the heavyweight acetate 25-piece one. And literally, if you type that in, heavyweight acetate, into the bar of the website, that'll take you to that. And I do believe that's still in stock because I've just recently ordered myself some more because I ran out at home. So yeah, that's a good one to have if you're using an edgeable and you want to strengthen and reinforce your card, because edgeables are beautiful, but because, depending on the delicate nature, can alter the structure of that card stock. And when I say the structure, I mean the strength. So an acetate behind the back of it gives the extra rigidity, and in all honesty, I would be using an heavyweight one. So I hope that answered your question there as well for you, Alison. I have some little post-it notes, says Kirsty D, in bright colours that I put on acetate so I don't lose it. Kirsty, that's a smart idea. Top tip, thank you, because I'm always losing it. You ought to see me today. I was filming over in the other studio, my cupcake box, filming. Me and Max were looking absolutely everywhere for this strip of acetate that I cut because it literally disappeared. Turns out, it was actually on the desk in front of us. We'd been searching everywhere. What a great shout out. Definitely going to do that. I just sometimes think, do you know, when you guys share all your ideas, it's absolutely fabulous. Oh my God, the questions are coming in thick and fast, Jamie. What the heck? We're half an hour in, I haven't even talked about vellums yet. LDD on YouTube, would please repeat which could replace a weight card? Thanks, Debbie. I love watching you and learn so much. Thank you very much. Construction acetate. So I've already shown you a construction, a heavyweight acetate, and we've done plenty of these, which are usually foiled, 380. But anything from a 250 micron will be a good one to use. And again, going back to this one, which is 250. So that's the heavyweight one that I've just shown, Alison. So yeah, you can absolutely use anything from a 250 upwards, which will make a good strong card base for you instead of using card stock. So I hope that helps, LDD. Kendall says, what is a good acetate to use to make the front of a card? Floating card front. Again, anything heavyweight. So the foil press one at the 20 piece, the heavyweight one and the A5, and then your foiled ones. And foiled always looks lovely. The printed acetates always looks lovely. The one that came in the beautiful winter sparkling winter, that one will work as well, because that's the 250 micron in there as well. So anything like that, and you strengthen. So if you were making a card base, in fact, Jamie, shall we quickly do it? Let's do it. Let's do it while we're live, while we're interactive. Let's do it. So I'm just going to move the phone because I can see some more questions. I'm going to very quickly do a 7 by 5. Oh, actually, let me just make sure. I'll do 5 that way. I'll do a little bit bigger than 7 and I'll score that. And then I'll have a couple of 5-inch. Shall we do an inch? Shall we do an inch and a quarter? Yeah, we'll do an inch and a quarter to create a floater. Floater? I know what I meant. Did I say an inch and a quarter, Jamie? I did. Thank you, Jamie. So let's just pop that there. There we go. So let's just put that down there, and then we'll grab our scoreboard. I could do with a little one though now. Let me grab my scoreboard. Oh, I love being live and interactive. Keeping me on my toes, Tiz. Keeping me on my toes. So let's go in at 7. And that will create... Oh, Jamie's just had a cracking idea there, Jamie. Oh, love it. Jamie said, do you know when you're using like on a pop-out box and you want something to boing, as in boing, 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 like that, acetate's a great one for that one as well, putting little sticks, balloons. In fact, I'm doing, Jamie, you must have read my mind, I've got one planned tomorrow for the latest launch that we've got, so stay tuned for that one. Right, let's go back in and just use this 5 by 7. I always tend to, when I'm doing a floating card or a floater card, I tend to cut it to the size of the base. And the only reason being is it gives extra, again, extra strength. So I'm just going to put some tape just onto here, pop that down, seal that card, and then you could either leave that as it is, but the floating element means I can pop a little strip at the very bottom to create that as well. What on earth? I knew that would happen to me. Let's grab a new one. Did you see the silver pick come out? That was the, oops, that would help to, yeah. Oh, do you know, Jamie, is it my bad luck? Is it happened to Lily? Thank goodness it's not just me. I thought it was just me. And then I'm just going to pop at the very bottom, just line that up. And then I might just snip that because I think I've just quite literally done a little bit too much. There we go, that's fine, there we are. Just neaten that off. And that creates your floating card, but with that beautiful acetate front. And again, that creates that extra little bit of strength. So let me just pop it onto there though, Jamie, because on the glass mat it has like what we call Bambi legs. In fact, do you know what? Make sure you've got a good score lining at the top so that it stands up straight. Oops, Debbie, knock your phone over while you're at it, girl. And the fan blew that over. Did you see it? So that's how you would create your floating card. Right, that'll do. That'll do, Jamie, that'll do. Right, let me have a quick look. Is that tape pen or red liner tape better to stick it? Either, as you've just seen, either will work, because I did use it on my box. If it's a construction though, I'd always use red liner. I'm just going to put it out there, that's how I do it. Oh, you've just answered my question. Thanks for reading my mind. Red liner tape is better. Yes, LDD on YouTube, it absolutely is. Why not use heat resistant for the shaker? It's very thin. It's because it's heat resistant. It's meant to applied for heat. You can use it as an alternative if you don't have it, because it will hold it in, because you are going to adhere that to the back of your aperture, and then you will seal it with your sequins in. So it would work, but it's not as strong. Okay, so that answered that question. Gosh, these questions, I didn't think there were this many questions. Can I just say, I'm just going to put it out there. I did not think for a month of Sundays that we would have all these questions coming in. But thank you very much. It just shows that you're all with us, and that's what we like. Amanda Hubbard on YouTube. Hi, Debbie. Can you show me the technique where you tear printed vellum, please? Absolutely, I will do, because that was another one I was going to do. And I also met you at the NEC. I know you did, Amanda. I remember you. And she said at the CC stand, and the cheese one. Do you know, I've still not eaten my cheeses. I've still got 4 of them left because I was with Amanda and her husband and I think I bought 5. Honestly, totally obsessed with cheese. But I've still not opened them up. I mean, right, so Alison, she also said, Alison Mason on Facebook, thank you, Debbie. I also met you at the NEC in March. It was a very busy day. Yes, it blooming was. It was busy the whole 4 days, let me tell you. Right, I think that was everything. Oh, Heating Boss. Shall we do it? Let's do it. Now, we could do both, actually. So technically, I could lead this into the vellum smoothly. And I will talk about vellums, but we shall do a little bit of both. So I'm just going to chip chop. Oh, you're right, Jamie. It's a good job you're up that. Yes, it's a good idea. Now, Jamie's just whispered in my ear, Debbie, you might need to turn the fan off because I've got the fan blaring away. With embossing powder. So good call, Jamie. Let me go and switch that off. And I'll tell you what I'll do because I am warm. Let me strip. Da, 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 da. It's not that kind of show. Right, so let's just put that down there. That's better. Right, so this will lead me into vellum in a second, but when it comes to heat embossing, and I'm going to grab a sheet of black cardstock just so that you can see, or hopefully see, a little bit better. Can you see it? That's better. Right, so we'll pop that down there. Now, whenever you're heating embossing onto heat resistant, am I plugged in? No, I'm not. Do you know, we didn't think to do this checklist before we started show, did we, Jamie? Right, there we go. So, I'm plugged in. Heat resistant, acetate, and then some vellum, because I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone with this one, because I was covering this technically in a minute, but we'll go to vellums in a second. But as always, you need a anti-static bag. Even on acetate, you need an anti-static bag, and on your vellum as well. I'm just going to wipe that over. Now, you can also, as well, and I'll talk about it in a second, but you can colour onto stamped images. But I am going to use a sentiment, and Jamie gave me some gorgeous sentiments. Shall we do Vegas ones, Jamie? We'll do Vegas ones. Let's go in. Oops, what are you? Right, so Jamie's just asked a very good question about what colours you would use. Well, you would use alcohol markers, so it would be a pen. Let's go in and add the birthday one, and I'll do it on both. Now, a couple of things you can do. You can use watermark ink pad, or you can use our opaque pigment ink pad, and anything that stays wetter for longer in terms of ink pads, duet ink pads and all those kind of things, so you could do that as well. Now I just need to grab my stamping mat and my stamping platform so that I can show you, and I'll just put that underneath with the cardstock. There we go, that'll be fine. And I'm just going to pop that onto my stamping platform. I've already popped the anti-static bag over the top, and then I'm going to come in and we're going to, I'll do it with the opaque. 2 alternatives. This would be for any coloured embossing, but if you want to, you've got plenty of ink pads, especially if you've got anything pigment based or, you know, stays wetter for longer. You can absolutely use those, and then a clear embossing powder over the top, which is what I could have done. In fact, Debbie, you're going to have to get the clear. I'd got my coloured ones out, Jamie. Oh, do you know, I feel like it's one of those days today. So we're going to stamp our image onto the acetate. And that, now, let me just lift that off so you can see there, has got your stamped sentiment on, and we will pop on there our clear embossing powder. So I'm just going to pop that on. Oh, it's bitty. What's going off there? Oh dear. It's got like big chunks. I wonder if it's being exposed to a bit of damp. Normally it's, yeah, that could be why, Jamie. So Jamie's whispering in my ear now and telling me, but I think in this one there has been some damp in there, because that is quite bitty, and as well, it shouldn't be cloggy like that. So, but it still do. We're just doing it to show you how the heat resistant works. I'm just going to try and get the excess off there, and then I'm just going to do exactly the same. So let's grab the pigment ink pad, and we'll go in and stamp. Now you can do this with any stamp. I've just put, literally Jamie went running in just before the show to get hold of me a couple of sentiments to try and show you how this works. Let me try and get me poke tool in there and stir that down. See if we can chop that up. It could be, Jamie, that someone's had a bit of water near it, so it's fine. It'll be fine. It'll work. And then there's just a little bit I've missed there, so let's grab that. There we go. All right, there. Now, let's get that set. So we've got our heat tool. And again, let me just use my brush to get rid of the excess. Although you will find if you use an anti-static bag, it won't stick as much. But let's just come in now and let me just remove my stamping mat. I always wait a second to let the heat tool heat up. Now, where did I put my acetate? Oh, it's there. Me and the acetate. I mean, I've even got a stamp on it and I still couldn't see it. I think I've had a little bit of an explosion with me powder. Right, we're going to just heat set this over. Now, on heat-resistant acetate, it becomes really, I mean, oh, let's just do it that way. There you go. There you are. What it doesn't do is it doesn't crinkle. It doesn't warp. It just sets over the top. So we'll go over the top and just set that. I think that's all set. And then I'll do exactly the same with this one. And it's almost instant. But it looks absolutely incredible. It looks incredible on both, to be honest. There you go. So there you are. We've got a heat set. So let's do it on the vellum first. There we go. Beautiful. And then on the acetate, now I think I might have dropped. There we go. There you go. So you can see I've done a bit of ghosting. I think my hand must have moved when I printed it because the birthday's got a bit of ghosting. But can you see how super smooth the acetate is? If you did that like on a regular different version acetate, you can get like a wrinkling or a crinkling where it almost like creates bumps and lumps in it. When you use a heat-resistant acetate, it is super smooth. It's the same. It doesn't alter the shape. It stays where it is. Which is why heat-resistant acetate plays a decent part or a decent place in your stash. It earns its right to be in your craft stash because when you want to heat set something onto acetate, heat-resistant acetate is the way forward, and it's always handy to have a set in. And I think we sell it in like sheets of 12 or something like that. But absolutely fabulous, and that's versus both the vellum and there. Now I'm going to quickly shove all of those underneath because we're going to have to move on to vellums because I can't believe the time, Jamie. Can I just say 42 minutes have passed. How has that happened? I just don't know how that has happened. It has absolutely flown by. Right, let me move all my acetates out of the way so we can get a little bit of rhyme and reason underneath. Right, here we go. Now then, what was that, Jamie? Thank you very much. Heat-proof or heat-resistant acetate does indeed come in a 12-pack. It's on the website. Right, so can you use gilding wax on all acetates? Oh, I've never used gilding wax on an acetate before. I'm just going to tell you, I've never used it. I did say I was going to be open and transparent at the beginning. I've never used the wax onto an acetate. Never. So I have used alcohol markers. Whoops, stay there. Let me come back. Let me grab an alcohol marker. And you can colour. Now, I tend to colour from the back, so I'm just going to run my red over the top. And the reason I colour from the back is I find it neater. So, although she says that, and I've realised I've gone straight out of... And there you go, you can colour acetate as well. I do let it dry and then I add another bit onto it. So I let it dry and then go back in and add an extra layer. And it's exactly what Jamie's just said in my ear. It creates a stained glass window-like effect. So you can do that as well onto all acetates, not just heat resistant, can I just say. You can colour that as well. Right, vellums. Jamie, I had my vellum all out at the side. Plain vellum. And I say plain, this came from our fuchsia collection. We've got patterned vellum. I love vellum. I ain't gonna lie, I pinch that from the pinched it this morning. Don't tell Jake. Winter Sparkle, that came from. Ooh, Jamie went running round and got me some of the fuchsia, both of them fuchsia, beautiful printed vellum, and I'm going to show you the difference there. And yes, vellum. Let me move on there. Let me just get my notes out, because we're also going to create a beautiful envelope if we get time. Just going to point that out there for you, because Jamie's just said in my ear, 15 minutes. Please, can somebody tell the time to stop vanishing when we're in this room? Right, vellum, alternative to vellum. Let me get my list out, because all different types of vellum I think I've just covered there. It's a beautiful alternative to a paper. Just put it out there. So you can use it. Now, Jamie had a great idea earlier. Our template envelope maker, you could make with a patterned paper, and then you could add a vellum insert, which always looks gorgeous. It adds like a touch of luxury. You can make your envelopes using vellum. Somebody asked me to tear vellum, however you say it, and use it as a strip. It could be an alternative, and then you could heat set it. In fact, I wonder if we could do that and kill two birds with one stone. You know, when you say tear, you literally just, doesn't matter how you tear it or which side you tear it, you get a different look each time. So again, there's no right or wrong way. Now, this is a vellum that's coloured on the outside, but is got a white core. So can you see that? In fact, should we do it there, Jeremy? There we go. So just tear it randomly. There's no right or wrong way. Tear it towards you, and you get a different look if you were to tear it upwards as well. So two different ways that you can do that. And if I get a chance to do that again, I'll do that again for you, because I know that question was asked earlier. Right, vellum. Alternative to papers is what we were just saying then. And literally on how you... So this is like a paper from the fuchsia, which is beautiful. Just matting and layering. A vellum gives you a different look. So that's quite a solid look. Vellum's got transparency to it. But when you add it to white cardstock, you get a bit of a softer... Shall I put that the right way around, Jamie? Because I've got that the wrong way around, haven't I? Is it that way? There it is. Yeah, there it is. It gives you a softer look. So whereas versus the paper, can you see where it's like very bright, very bold, very vivid? On a vellum, it's a softer, muted look, but equally as beautiful. Now, I know that we do some amazing, amazing vellums within the range. Now, I will just show you that same piece onto black cardstock. So if I just put them side by side, can you see the difference? So it like even softer out of fuzzy focus, but it still looks equally beautiful. And that can apply to colour as well. So if you use like a pattern, let me just grab a piece of red, because I think that'd be a good way to show you. The difference that you get when you use it, now this is a glitter cardstock, so not automatically glitter, but if I just to do that again, can you see now the difference? That brings out all the colour of that, you know, the vibrant reds that are in there. That creates like a bit of a muted look. And this is one that is a great one to put on to different types of cardstock. So if I just put those side by side now, you can see the difference quite clearly. And a question we get asked a lot, and I know no one's asked it yet, but how do you stick them down? I use dotty tape pens. I think Craig uses, is it glue dots he uses in his? Oh, so our Craigie uses all-purpose and tacky, but lets it set. I think I heard that. Is that... Oh, in each corner. Sorry, Jamie. He puts it in each corner. I really should watch the shows more, shouldn't I? And then I'd know. But I personally pop it down with our dotty tape pen. You can't see it. The difference between a solid tape pen is sometimes you can see it. So if that's the case, and I'm just going to do that where I take it across the corner. I hope Jake don't mind me wasting this, but it'll be fine, won't it? If you was to do, and a glue, I never use wet glue. I will be totally honest with you, I never use wet glue. I know Craig's used it, but uses it in the corner. I tend to use tape pens, and the dotty tape pen's a good one. Or another good one, please excuse the way I've matted and laid that, is split pins. So you can put a split pin into there as well, and you just put them in the four corners to attach them. But I actually don't think that is too bad. I don't think you can actually see the tape on there. little bit on this one, but you've got to go looking for it, haven't you? On that one, I can't even see it at all. That, I mean, I just can't see it at all. So that's a good way of attaching, using your glues as well, like your red liner tape. You could put a little bit of red liner tape onto there. So absolutely love that idea. I love the idea of making envelopes. Shall we make a quick envelope? Same with the floating card. You could use the floating card with vellum behind the back. You could still do it with that. Again, it would look really lovely in there, but shall we use the template? So let's grab a pencil. I'll take that up to the edge so I'm not having to cut too much away. But honestly, oh, vellum envelopes, man alive, they look so gorgeous. Honestly, beautiful. Paper flowers. We were going to have, well, we did think we'd have time, but I don't think we're going to have time. I will show you how you can emboss as well. Emboss with an embossing folder. I absolutely love that. So I'm just going to pop very quickly onto there. And I do love these envelope templates. I'm not going to lie, one of my favourite new things that we've launched recently. So I'm just going to pop in there so I can see it. And grab my scissors again. Probably won't use these big scissors, Debbie, but it's okay. We'll be all right. And we have a limited time now. How many minutes? 9. I think you said 5 then. I was like, no, I've not had a chance to even look if there's any more questions that have been asked, but we'll have a little look in a moment. We will. But yeah, I was going to make some paper flowers, but I know Debbie's done them with paper flowers in the past. What did we launch recently? It was the paper punchers. Wait a minute, the flower punchers. Paper punchers? What's a paper punch? What's the paper punch? It's just a normal punch. Yeah, you could use flowers, look gorgeous in vellum, especially patterned vellums. And I wish now we'd got a 2-hour show, Jamie, I'm not going to lie. But we're not, so I can hear him panicking then. I heard the panic in his voice. Debbie, no, we're not doing 2 hours, are we doing? Are we doing 2 hours, Debbie? No, we're not going to do 2 hours. Please do take time and care when you're using vellum. So don't be heavy-handed. It's a bit like your paper. Be a little bit delicate with it. But absolutely, you can make the most beautiful, beautiful envelopes. And Jamie's call earlier for making a liner for your vellums is a real good shout. If you use like a pattern paper and then you want a really lovely, soft, subtle insert, then absolutely, please do use that as well. So I'm going to just seal this. I would, of course, rub out my pencil mark, but because of time, we need to create very quickly a beautiful, gorgeous vellum envelope as well, and they make some gorgeous envelopes, something a little bit different. And then, of course, what you do get is like a little bit of a see-through element to them, which I think is quite nice because people would know that's not a bill. One other thing I want to just quickly show you on a plain vellum, you can emboss, and I do love this. And you can, of course, do this with acetate as well. Now, this is a 3D folder, Debbie, so very quickly let me get my 3D combination. There we go. I'll sort everything out in a minute when we come off air. I'm trying to grab everything in there as quick as I can. Sometimes doing it this way, you may... We're not switched on. Wait a minute. Are we not... No, I didn't unplug it. Has it not been turned on at all? Wait a minute, let me have a little peek. Oh, it was the loose wire. It's not the... No, it was the wire. But yeah, this is a nice alternative. And sometimes you don't need the magnetic shim. I'll just have a quick look, but oh my God, I love this. This effect is absolutely beautiful. It creates like a white line look. So using vellum, like a plain vellum, and if this was white, it would be white on white, which looks insanely good. It looks like you've taken a piece of paper and sanded it back or used an ink pad through it, but look how incredible that looks as well. And that is your vellum into your embossing folders, which looks absolutely sensational. I love the white. The white line look for me is just an absolutely fabulous alternative, again, to what you could use with it. Right, I've seen a few questions. Let me see if I can get there. Whew. It's been a busy hour, I'm not going to lie. Rachel, thank you for bringing all these questions in, and thank you to everybody watching who's been asking those questions, because it's very much appreciated, because we don't want to be here on our own, and it's lovely that we've got this little bit of a... So it's really nice and intimate, isn't it? Yeah, one-to-one, Jamie, that's a good one. No Ben, no Craig today. You have me all to yourself. Is that the right way around? Yes, you have... He's saying you've got the crafted idea to yourself. Self-acclaimed, apparently. Right, let me have a little quick look what you've said. So that's awesome on the acetate. Thank you. Jill Smith says, these craft your stash, can never say it, sessions are just awesome for ideas increasing skill sets. Thank you, CTV. Let the bosses know we've got more planned for you, more one-to-one, more a little bit more. Well, we're not trying to sell you anything. We're just meaning everything that you've bought, we're just showing you how to use them and asking those questions that sometimes we don't always get to ask during the shows. Jen Shank on YouTube says, I like the idea of using vellum for envelopes. Thank you, Debbie. Don't forget the envelope liner as well, because Jamie would be shouting at me saying, Debbie, you haven't passed my idea on, because that looks beautiful as well. Rachel Jones, hello Rachel, are you all right, lovely? Can you make flowers from vellum, or is it too thick? No, beautiful. If I'd have had time, I would have done one, because we did have a set of flower dies under here, but you can absolutely go back and watch that show with Debbie with the flower punches with vellum, and she made flowers out of vellum, stunning. You get a completely different look to a paper, and Rachel, honestly, use them because it really does look lovely. Stephanie Theodos on Facebook says, have you tried die cutting vellum glued to paper? Yes, I have. You've got to be careful, because once you've die cut after you've stuck it down, because obviously I don't use wet glue, you can have some loose bits. So as long as you make that stick back down, you can make that work as well. Debbie, I've seen different thicknesses listed for vellum. Can you explain which you would use for what? It's the same. You use vellum for absolutely anything. It doesn't matter what thickness it is. So you can use it for things like your white line effect through an embossing folder. You can use it to create your envelopes. It's just a different thickness. It doesn't make no difference. It makes some beautiful, like we said, die cutting elements that you could do with it. It looks beautiful on the back of card bases as well. So it doesn't really make any, honestly, it makes no difference with vellum. It's not like your acetate. Vellum can be used in different thicknesses, and there's like there's patterned versus plain, patterned ones versus paper. Always looks lovely for a soft, muted look, and I know Craig absolutely uses it an alternative, because I know we do a lot of vellum within our collections, but people always say to us, I don't know how to use it. I hope I've given you just a couple of ideas, and we'll always try and bear that in mind from when we come to prep our demos about heat embossing onto vellum, using it as liners to envelopes or to card front bases, to using it as an alternative to paper as well. So thank you, Amanda. She says, Debbie, you've done a brilliant job. I just wish we had more time, guys, because I can't believe where it's gone. But I think checklist, Jamie, checklist, let's have a little look. Talk about different types of acetate, tick. Make a gift bag, tick. Heat emboss onto acetate and vellum, tick, tick. Talk about different vellums, tick, tick. Yes, we have. And different thicknesses, please remember, honestly, it makes no difference with the vellum. You just get a different feel, a different look, a different texture look. So we tick that. Embossing onto plain, tick. Stick down options, tick, tick. And envelopes, tick. Vellum flowers, cross. We ran out of time. I do apologise, but please do try it. Get your vellums out, patterned or plain. Die cut with your die cut pieces. Oh, do you know what we forgot to do? What we didn't take? We didn't die cut acetate. But I will do that. I will do that over maybe the next course of the day. Have we done get that in die cut? There is. I did a craft your stash with die cutting, and I die cut through acetate, yes. So I'm sorry I didn't get round to it today, and I do apologise, but literally time is now running away with us. I'm just going to say a big thank you to every one of you who've watched this hour, and also a big thank you to lovely Jamie, who has been here since the beginning, and thank you to Rachel, who's been sending the questions through there. A big thanks to Jake as well for always doing what he does, because he literally ran around with Jamie getting me everything that I needed. So a big thanks to both of you. And back tomorrow. Lily's going to be here at the 10 o'clock show, giving you the preview of the brand new Little Adventurer and the Sassy. Honestly, you've got to watch it. Me and Craig are going to be back here for Wake Up Call at 12, and then we've got the official launch at 2 p.m. And then we've got a tariff-free cartload special with lots and lots of different things on there. So I hope you can join us for another fun-filled day here at Crafters TV. I'm off to go back to the house and get on with a little bit more work. Got a bit of shopping to do though first, because I've got a few things to get for the granddaughter's birthday party on Friday. But we will see you all here tomorrow for another great day of crafty fun and inspiration. So see you all there. Bye.